Hello. This week it's a bit of a mixed bag, really. I'll just explain what you're looking at the moment. Basically, as you're aware, I'm was in the process of moving. It's not gone particularly well at the moment, and so basically, as part of that, I had to pack all my crafting equipment away, and then I just got a few bits out that I could carry on working on. And one of the boxes that I brought down was a mixture of leftover spares. I picked up some partly painted figures. Oh, got to be 2 years ago. When I was first thinking of getting into it, I come across them on eBay. And they were partly painted but badly, probably not using water paints either. So I'd kind of robbed from it most of what I wanted and left everything else in the box. Together with that, there was some that hadn't been painted, that had been partly put together but not based. Some not very well put together, some better than others. And then on top of that, I'd got some leftover bodies on sprues and, as you do with different parts. And anyway, cut a long story short, I thought, well, I can't get to the majority of my hobby in at the moment. I know what I could do. I could try and salvage these and make myself up an 82nd Airborne group. Obviously, I've got the 101, the Band of Brothers and all that. But I thought, well, yeah, the 82nd Airborne took part in Operation Market Garden. Why don't I do something with these and make that up? So basically, that's what I did. So I salvaged the best ones I could find that were part painted and left them soaking to get the paint off where I could. Couldn't get all of it off because, as I say, I don't think it was a water-based paint. It just would not come off. Even in meths, it was still there. But most of them I managed to get around and reprime them. Some I had to abandon. And then some of the figures that were put together, I finished them off and cleaned them up a bit. And then the leftover sprues, I put together anything that was missing from the other ones. And managed to put this together. Now, they're a bit spread out at the moment because I've literally only just given them their first matte varnish. But basically, what I've got from it is 4 8-man squads. I did have to buy a couple of things to go with it, but not much. I bought the 2-man mortar team, light mortar, and the 2-man bazooka team. And one other figure that I bought was this Stocy figure, which represents the leader of the 82nd in, if you remember the film A Bridge Too Far, this was the character played by Robert Redford, the one that came over Hail Mary in the boats on the way over the river. So I decided to make him up just as an alternate leader set. Among the spares I had, I did have a basic leader, which is going to serve as my lieutenant. And there was a medic included as well. And what I've done is I've put all their patches and strips on now as well. And painted them all up to bring them to match and then based them all. So it was I'm glad I've done it, and it was a rewarding project really, because I'd often looked in this box and thought, well, there's nothing else I can get out of that, and I was very tempted to just get rid of them because I'd got my airborne. But I'm glad I'm glad the opportunity came up to actually get these done and to virtually use everything I'd got. So I just thought I'd share that with you. They're probably not, not the best I've ever done, but obviously I had to work with what I'd got. But that said, I'm pretty pleased with them. And I've managed to get a few different poses out of them. I mean, like, that one. And put together a slightly different light machine gun team there. But yeah, on the whole, it was quite a rewarding little project, and they'll be very playable. So why not? Right. So if you just bear with me, I'll show you the other thing that I wanted to show you this week. Right. So the second thing I want to show you is this little package. Background story, really. This year I want to get back to doing a bit more terrain, because terrain really, I love playing bolt action, but terrain was like my first love of this hobby, if you like. And, I want to get back to perhaps, creating some new terrain, because I've developed skills, over the last 3 or 4 years. So I could probably do some of the earlier bits of terrain better now. So I want to go through that. And also, space is an issue for me, so I want to create things that I can condense down. But anyway, I do want to get into getting back to building more terrain and probably less on the building figures for a while. Now, with that in mind, if ever I've had, if I've sold anything or I've got any spare cash or somebody's buying me a present, I've tended to get things that are going to go with the project I've got this year of building some new terrain. And this was one of those items. And what it is, it's civilians. And I wanted them because you've often heard me say that I like my battlefield to be alive, and the scenery that I've built, I want it to feel lived in. And I have introduced vehicles and things like that. But I thought it'd be nice to have a few civilians around the game table, as it could be refugees coming out of a bombed out town, it could be farmers working in the fields, whatever. And animals, things like that I want to introduce. Anyway, long story short, I had a look round. I haven't got a 3D printer. So I'm very reliant on, people that have got 3D printers and what's available out there that you can buy ready printed. And I came across this chap. Now, you might have come across him before. It's Badger 3D Creations. I think he's on Etsy and... is it Etsy or Etsy? And he's also on eBay. And basically, I'd read too much of the reviews where people had mentioned that they were really great, but they thought probably the next size up would have been better. Well, rather than asking the chap direct, I just jumped in and bought the wrong size, and I had a word with the chap, and I was going to order another set, and he was kind enough to help me out and send me a set of the 28mm, which he has, sized right. So I should have not read some of the old reviews, to be honest. But anyway, I'll get these out and let you have a look at them. Now, I know, it's not something for the bolt action purists. You just want to play the game, I know. But as I said, because I like terrain, that's the reason why I'm getting things like this. And, if it's not for you, I completely understand that. But I'm sure there must be other people out there that like introducing little dioramas and things to their battle table. So if you just bear with me and I'll just show you these figures. Right. I'll get them all unwrapped properly and then we can have a look at them individually. Put the paper to one side. Right, so the first one is this. I think that looks lovely. I think that's going to look great on the game table as well. And it, you know, like I say, it appeals to my terrain interests. But also, I just think it'd give the game table a lot of character to have something like these on. And obviously, like this chap's packed everything that he owns, and he's trying to get away from the battle that's going on. He's even got his bike on the back, look. And, you know, I mean, that's going to fit well with some of those Lado models that I did in a previous video. And just bring that bit more life to the table. So I'll put that down. I'll show you another one. This one's a lady with a pram, but she's using it to put all of her possessions that she's got left in. Lovely detail. And they're definitely, you know, they're definitely spot on for the size. I'll put one of my soldiers next to it in a minute. This one's got a donkey and a cart, and they're loading everything on it that they can get. This is an interesting little one. Two chaps, and there's a lady injured on the back of a wagon, and they've got their possessions on their backs. I mean, you can imagine these on the roadside, you know, in a little bit of scenery. I could, you know, like incorporate it into a couple of trees or a road ditch or something like that. Chap with his stuff on the back of his bike. I mean, it'd make a nice little procession of characters, really. I mean, whether I use them all together, I don't know, but this lady's just using a wheelbarrow for all her goods. This lady's got an umbrella and a suitcase. The bag's on her back. Mother and a child. I mean, it really brings things alive, I think. And it's just a lady walking along this one. But if I bring one of my figures in, let's bring this chap. I mean, look at that. That's going to fit so well, isn't it? I mean, I know it's hard to imagine it with it not being painted up, but you can see the size works really well. Really pleased with them. And like I say, it's going to give so much character to a little scene. You know, if you imagine building a house and you've just got like one of these coming away from it or something on the footing of the building. It just adds another dimension to it, really. You have to forgive me if I'm burbling on. It's just things like this really please me. I suppose it's harking back. You know, like I said in the very earliest videos, I've come back to this now. You know, I'm in my late 50s. And the first taste of this kind of hobby I got was with my dad. When he helped me build a train set in the spare room. When I don't know how old I was then. But, I don't know, 8, 9, something like that, 7, 8 or 9. And, you know, Dad got me building things, and he was building me tunnels and things for me train set. And I hadn't thought about it, you know, for ages when I got into the hobby. And then it just came back to me, and I thought, you know, I really enjoyed them times with Dad. And, you know, it'd be a good thing to do. And that's how I got started on the terrain, and then kind of bolt action followed on from that really, and it's been really nice. But I suppose this is like a throwback to, you know, the railway scenes that you used to make alongside the railways. So that's kind of why I'm so into this kind of thing, because I do like that little scenes and the little dioramas that you have on a railway set, and I just think it works well on a bolt action game as well. It just adds to the feel. So, but yeah, as you can see, the figures match really well. I'll bring another one in, but zoom in a bit so you can see them more. But they match well, size-wise. Put this chap alongside here, look. It looks right, don't it? But, as I say, I just wanted to share these with you, because obviously with all my hobby and stuff being packed away, I'm just working on all these little projects in the background. But I don't know whether I've said it before, you know, with the economy being how it is, the house sales not going particularly well, so it may be that I'm going to abandon it for the time being anyway, and then reset up all my hobbying, and so I can get cracking again, because I miss just having it all around. But yeah, so as I say, in this coming year I'm going to be doing a lot more terrain work as well. That said, I should mention, I know a lot of people have wanted to see, you know, all the stuff that I've been working on for Operation Market Garden. They want to see it all brought together so they can see it, you know, how it looks. So I'm hoping, you know, fingers crossed, depending on how all the house thing transpires, to find a bit of time to perhaps set up a few tables and have a few little solo games that I can photograph, and share it with you, so you can, you know, see how it's all come together. So I promised, because I know there's quite a few of you that have been asking, I will try and get that done in the very near future and bring you some photos before I start going off into crafting more scenery. But I just thought I'd share this with you, and let you have a look at what, you know, talk a little bit about what I want to do next, you know, in the next year ahead. So anyway, I'll wrap it up now, because I've been burbling on far too much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.